So let's start by hooking this guy up. Let's go add item, locators, locator, and then in the display properties, let's go straight over to the locator shape. I'm going to change it from default to custom, and let's change its style from add to replace. That's going to get rid of those ugly crosshairs in the middle. And then I'll change the shape to a sphere, which is just a preference. That's what I like these to be. I'll set my axis to Y. And then I'm going to grab my radius and drag it down until it's nice and small. And just to make it easy to click on, I'm just going to drag it up here for now. We're going to move that in a little bit anyway. So now we have an extra locator. This is not real geometry. It's not going to render. We're not going to see it in our scene. It's just something that we can click on and we can use it to control other stuff. That's the idea with a locator. So let's rename this light poly controls. And we're going to add some channels to this that we can use to control our object, starting with the squareness. So let's say add user channel. That's in our modifiers tab, in our setup tab. And we're going to call this channel squareness. Okay? Now this squareness value really is going to be a number between 0 and 1 or 0 and 100 you could think of. So we're going to make this a percentage value between 0 and 100. And we're going to use a minimum value of 0 and a maximum value of 100. We don't want to go less than 0 or more than 100, so let's just leave it there. And the default value will be 0, so we start with a circle all the time. Hit OK. And now, in our Setup tab, let's show our actual little setup area down here at the bottom. Take our Light Poly Controls object and just drag it out here in the workspace. And you'll see that it's automatically added that new channel that we've created called Squareness. If it doesn't, select the Light Poly Controls, go to the Channels tab, scroll to the very, very bottom, and there's going to be our new channel, user channel, and you can just drag that right out into our workspace. So you've got it listed right out here. Next, we're going to grab our Morph Influence, and again, in the Channels tab, scroll down until you can find the strength of that. Take it, drag it straight on out. All right. And then all we're going to do is connect the squareness parameter of our controls to the strength of our morph influence. Now, our morph influence is controlled by that object. So watch this. If I were to select this object, go down here and set the squareness value up to, say, 50%, then all of a sudden, our polygon has started to get square. If I set it up to 100%, then it's completely square. Really, really nice. Set that back to 0 again. In fact, I'll just undo a couple times so we go back to the default state. Perfect. So now how do we make that a nice slider that's easy to control? Well, watch this. Let's select this controls item. We'll go to the Assembly tab over here. And under Utility, there's a command box. Let's click that. And we're going to say Item Channel Haul. All right? So what this means is that whenever we click on this object, it's going to run a command called item.channelHaul. And what that does is it automatically brings up this little box, this little slider, that we can use to control the user-defined channels of that object. So here we can just slide this in and out and go back and forth between our minimum value of 0 and our maximum value of 100. Really, really nice. So this is the basis for how we are going to rig up objects like this. So let's just deal with some cosmetic issues here first, and then we'll move on to something a little more substantive.